Okay, so let's talk about this comment. Some background before we get into the full comment because it goes much further down. I did a story about an indigenous tribe that owns land on Vancouver Island in Canada. This indigenous tribe has been renting trailer pad spaces to mobile homeowners for 50 years. And now the tribe is reclaiming the land to build homes, to build housing for its members, since there is a housing shortage amongst the indigenous members. The tribe is giving the people on the land 2 years to relocate their trailers, free pad rental for the 2 years that they have to wait. And I think, I might be mistaken in this part because it was kind of hard to understand the way the news story was going, but I believe $11,000 in assistance in moving. I did a video talking about that, talking about how the people who live in the trailer homes that are complaining that this is unfair don't understand how this works. And the tribe, the indigenous tribe, is giving them way more latitude than any indigenous tribe was ever given when their land was taken from them. And I sided with the indigenous tribe. Now, I know that a couple of years ago I had a big problem with people on the left coming after me because I didn't agree that all landlords should be lined up against the wall and summarily executed. I think that this is a slightly different scenario given the indigenous rights, but this person here said, normally I am 100% on side with your opinions, Tom, and I am also a firm supporter of indigenous rights and fully acknowledge the atrocities committed on them by our governments. That said, when you have rented for 30, 40, 50 years, you have a reasonable expectation to live the rest of your life there after pouring your heart and soul into your home. 2 years to relocate is less than adequate after 30 to 50 years. I am not sure most of these homes can't be moved anyway. I just think more conversation and long-term planning needs to happen between residents and the indigenous owners. It's not like the need for more housing for the people just suddenly came up. I don't know how long they've been grappling with the need for additional housing and how long they've been planning on reclaiming this land. I know that they informed the residents back in October that this was coming, and now in March they've been informed that they have 2 years. I think the 2 years is more than adequate. I mean, you come to the state of Illinois and see how long you get. It's not going to be 2 years, and it's not going to be free rent until you move out. But there's a line in your comment that I wanted to address. You believe that people have a reasonable expectation to live the rest of your life there. No, not even close. You're a renter. And we're not talking about, some corporate entity that owns 900 houses and they're kicking you out in 30 days, 60 days, 90 days, which in and of itself sucks. You're a renter. When you move into that property, knowing that you don't own the land, the reasonable expectation is that you might not even get your lease renewed for next year. Your expectation your theory is that you believe somebody should have a reasonable expectation to live on somebody else's land for the rest of their life. No, absolutely not. So I don't ever get to develop, sell, or reclaim the land that I own if somebody's renting it? So what's the cutoff? You said 30, 40, 50 years. Is it 20 years? Is it 10 years? Is it 5 years? Should every landlord in the country kick every tenant out of their dwelling after the 5-year mark? Because at the 6-year mark, we have a reasonable expectation to be able to live on somebody else's land forever? I appreciate the fact that you're normally 100% on my side, and I'm sure that we can agree on 99% of things outside of this. But to say that you have a reasonable expectation to be entitled to live on somebody else's land it's wrong. It's absolutely wrong. Now, I'm against corporate landlords. I'm not against, some guy or gal in your neighborhood who worked hard and bought a couple of rental houses being a landlord. So from that standpoint, if your neighbor bought another house and then rented the house that they were in out, and the people that were living next to you, no, back up. Perfect example. The house next to us was a rental house for 30 years. It was one of a shit ton of rental houses that an investor in the area owned, and the woman that used to live in the house next to us lived there for over 30 years. She paid that mortgage with her rent. And when the housing market went up and the prices of houses went up, the guy who owned those houses started selling them off, including hers. According to you, she had a reasonable expectation to live in somebody else's home, their house, for the rest of her life. That is insane to me. I don't have a reasonable expectation to have or get anything that you own. And you don't have a reasonable expectation to get or have anything that I own. I'm sorry. I am 150% against that mentality.